What you're looking at is the aftermath of the grand jury deciding not to indict Officer Wilson.
Tear gas. Tear gas. This tear gas just dropped right near us. It's going to get very bad here if we don't have masks.
That's one police cruiser that is fully engulfed right now.
Images like these seem to be a nearly daily occurrence on the local and national news. Citizens littering the streets of American cities, protesting another killing at the hands of police officers throughout the country.
No justice! No justice!
Trayvon Martin in 2014, the incident that sparked the Black Lives Matter movement. Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri later that year, sparking widespread rioting and further clashes with police. Eric Garner in 2015, initiating the protesters' cry of, "I can't breathe." And over the course of 4 days in 2016, police shootings of Alton Sterling in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and Philando Castile in Minneapolis, Minnesota, were followed up by a retaliatory strike on the police themselves by sniper Micah Johnson, who killed 5 Dallas police officers before he was taken out by a remote-controlled bomb. In 2015 alone, over 1,100 people were killed in arrest-related deaths, with 965 of them fatally shot by police. Of those 965 people, 564 were armed with a gun, 281 armed with another weapon, and 90 were unarmed. Along with that, there was at least one death caused by police in every state and the District of Columbia in 2015. It's an escalating situation that has become one of the biggest crises facing America. The sense nationally is police brutality is at unprecedented levels in U.S. history. Unfortunately, statistics on police shootings are sparse prior to 2015, other than from 2003 to 2009. Even with limited data points to analyze, there is evidence of an increase in police brutality over the last decade. As this graph shows, arrest-related deaths went up in 5 of the 6 years between 2003 to 2009, with a peak of 745 deaths in 2007. But these numbers pale in comparison to 2015's astounding 1,134 deaths. That represents a 65% increase in the average number of deaths from 2003 to 2009. This has led to significant distrust of police amongst the American people, with Time magazine reporting all-time low numbers. 57% of whites and only 30% of black Americans have a high level of confidence in police. This gap underscores the prevailing thought of an inherent bias against black Americans by police. At first glance, arrest-related deaths would suggest that there is no bias against black Americans, with a far greater number of whites dying in police custody than any other race, accounting for 42% of arrest-related deaths. Black Americans represented 32% and Hispanics 20%. However, when we take a step back and adjust for population density by race, a completely different picture emerges. Per capita, black Americans far outpace every other race in arrest-related deaths since 2003, nearly tripling the rate of white Americans in 2015. And despite making up only 2% of the population, African American males between the ages of 15 and 34 made up more than 15% of all deaths in 2015, a rate 5 times higher than their white counterparts. The world has taken notice. Matmuma Rutier, UN Special Rapporteur on Contemporary Reforms of Racism, says African Americans are 10 times more likely to be pulled over by police officers for minor traffic offenses than white persons. Such practices must be eradicated. United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights Zeid bin Ra'ad Al Hussein issued a statement detailing his deep concern at the disproportionate number of young African Americans who die in encounters with police officers. This is the root of the current firestorm in America, which has been further exacerbated by a widely accepted notion that many of the African Americans killed are unarmed and shot by a white racist police force. However, the Washington Post found that only 4% of all arrest-related deaths in 2015 were the result of this very specific scenario. But change won't come from only the efforts of a handful of activist groups. It'll take a strategic, prolonged effort by police units and the federal government, some of which is already underway. President Barack Obama created the Presidential Task Force on 21st Century Policing in 2015 to study policing in the U.S. and focus on reforms on all levels of law enforcement in order to restructure a broken criminal system. President Obama stated, "Right now, we do not have a good sense, and local communities do not have a good sense of how frequently there may be interactions with police and community members that result in death." Ultimately, this is not something that can be fixed overnight. It'll take time to change what needs to be changed. There have already been 640 arrest-related deaths in 2016, 640 and counting. With the death toll rising, trust in police plummeting, and people starting to take justice in their own hands, there isn't much time to salvage whatever relationship is left between the police and the American people.
We as a country must come together, lock arms, and heal the wounds that we all feel from time to time.